Hello and welcome to another Game Under video. This time I'm going to be porting a 16K Spectrum game to the ZX81. Does anybody remember a game called Run Baby Run that was published by Firebird back in about 1984? Well, that's what I'm going to be attempting, and I think it'd make a very good port to the ZX81. It would be a good fit. So let me start by introducing you to the level design tool I'm using. It's not one you'd expect. So this is 7-Up, and I'm using this to design the levels, just porting over the Spectrum levels. I think there were 7 levels on the Spectrum version back in the day. I might have a go at designing 1 or 2 of my own, I don't know. And using 7-Up means I can export this as a graphic image, which means that each of these blocks here takes up 1 bit instead of 1 byte. Now, this is a 32 by 22 screen, so if I use a byte per block, I'd be using, what, 704 bytes per level, whereas using 1 bit per block, as I'm going to be doing with this, means I'll be compressing that down to, what, 32 by 22 divided by 8, so 88 bytes, I think, which is quite a saving. So that's going to be a lot more efficient, and the game's going to load a lot more quickly too. So let's save this out. Now I'm going to have to change the output options. Let's have a look. X-char first, that's right. Y-char, no we don't, we want the char line up. So X-char, char line, Y-char, yep, and we want just the graphics. And then we can save that out. I'll just export the data. As C source, which is what I usually do. And that saved that level. So I can get on with designing all the others now. This is the level imported into the game as def-bs. So what I now need to do is write some code to go through that data 1 bit at a time, rotating it into the carry flag, checking the carry and either displaying a bit of wall or a bit of open space. So we'll do that now. I'll start off by writing the inner loop. That will be showlev 0. This is the Wikipedia page for the ZX81 character set. It's a very valuable resource and very useful when writing a ZX81 game. You can see both sets of characters, standard set and the inverted set, laid out from 0 to 63 and 128 to 191 respectively. So we will be wanting to use the L character, I think, from the standard set, so that will be 48 plus 1, so that'll be character code 49. So I think that's the one we're going to use in our display routine, because that looks like a brick. We're going to need to push that. I'm not using DE, am I? So there we go, that's line feed and carriage return effectively, and then pop that back in disp X. After a little bit of messing about, this is my show lev routine that displays the level. It's not the most elegant routine I've ever written, or the most efficient, but it gets the job done, and that's the main thing. If I worried about writing the most elegant or efficient code all the time, I'd never get any of my games finished. So let's not worry about that. Let's get on to the next task as soon as we've completed this one. So with that in mind, let's put this into the emulator and see what it does.
Right, apologies for the shaky camera work here. I'm having to use a handheld as 81 doesn't work with Game Bar. So let's try this routine. Yay! And that is our screen.
The next job we need to undertake is to display the player's car. So with that in mind, we'll set up some coordinates. Car X there, which will be the vertical position. As always in my games, I mix my X and Y up, and the car Y. And then we need the car direction, which will be 0, 1, 2 or 3 for up, right, down and left respectively. That way we just have to increment or decrement the direction when, oops, there we go, when we rotate. Then we need the routine to display the car, so let's get on to that now. We are going to need to set up some coordinates for that. So now, car display routine, we're going to take the car coordinates in the HL pair. Then what else do we need to do? We need to set those up in the general display coordinates for the display routine. So that's done that. Then we need to find the car direction to decide whether we're going to display it vertically or horizontally as 2 blocks. And we need to test the test bit 0, and that will tell us whether we're moving up, down, left or right. So if we're moving up, it's going to be 0, or down it's going to be 2, and 1 and 3 are going to be left and right. So we check the carry flag once we've rotated it out of the accumulator, and then we jump to the appropriate display routine. So 1 or 3 is horizontal, and 0 and 2 are vertical. So we get the print address, which is gprad, if I remember rightly. Then we're going to have to use, I think the dithered block is character 8, if memory serves. We can move that actually up here. As soon as we set the coordinates for the display routine, we can draw the first block, and then the second block comes after that. So then we either increment the screen address or we add 33 to it to find the next cell down. So 33 bytes on, distance to the next cells, With an Excel down. So add that to our current address. And then we just draw the character. And then return. And if we want to display the character to the right, we just increment HL and draw the... Oh, actually, no, we can reuse the other bit of code. No point in duplicating that. There. And that's disk car 0. Okay, so that should display our car. Let's try that in the emulator, shall we?
We've got the player's car at the bottom of the screen. Yep, happy with that.
Well, that just about wraps it up for this edition. I've got some more code to write, so I'd better get on with it. Hopefully see you again in the next Game Under video. Cheerio! If you'd like to see more videos like this, then like, comment, share or subscribe.